welcome, welcome, beloved family, beloved field generators. We create a field here when we meditate together that we all feel, and God knows what the ripple effects do in the world. I hope it's good things. And for those of you who it's first time here, this is WeAwake. My name is Sean Dupuis, and I'm CEO of WeAwake Technologies, and we create these audio tools to help us wake up, to help us heal, to help us think, to help us be more creative, more focused, deal with our pains and our hurts. And yeah, it's amazing. It just helps us to do really deep meditative work, just, in a few minutes. Science says it takes about eight to 9 minutes to really get there. But man, you get there instead of taking 8 to 9 years, right? If you're trying to learn how to meditate by yourself, it's really challenging. So anyway, so today we're going to listen to a really, really cool track. And this is created by a dear friend and colleague, Joseph Kao from the UK. And Joseph he created the entrainment music. So he's a musician and a scientist who takes to create this stuff. And he is a hypnotist, which is a certification apparently that you get in Britain to say you know your stuff. It's as good as it gets from the hypnotist thing. He's also a Shakespearean actor, and he has a wonderful voice. So he's just very inductive. He really takes you into deep places through the timbre of his voice and just the transmission of his own soul, because he's a deep, good man. And plus with the entrainment technology mixed in with that, it's just extraordinary. So this one is part of, I think there's 4 tracks on it, or maybe 6. It's called Journey to the Depths. 6. Yeah, Journey. Thank you, Louis. There's quite a backstory about how this came to be created, but maybe I'll speak about that on the other side. But yeah, so sit up straight. A friend of mine said one time when we had a group of people meditating, he says, sit like you're a king or a queen or a prince or princess on one of these temples, right? So sit in a dignified way, your spine straight, and so you can breathe better and the energy can flow very efficiently in your body. And just let go and go with the flow and go with the entrainment, and just pay attention to the words that are generating and your feelings and what comes to you, whether it's visual or just inner knowing. There's all kinds of things that can happen during this. So without further ado, shall we? Let's get started. This is an inner clearing. 20 minutes with Joseph Kao.
Allow yourself to be present with that which is present. Here and now, in this moment. And as you do so, you can begin to settle back and to settle down into the depths of your being. A little bit more with each and every out-breath. allow your breathing to be smooth and flowing. And allow yourself to be present with that which is present. Softening the muscles of the face. Relaxing the little muscles around the eyes. Relaxing the little muscles at the corners of the mouth. Loosening the shoulders. As you notice which hand is the most relaxed hand right now. And which is left to relax in a way that feels just right for you now, can be.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here and experiencing that with us. I know your presence added a tremendous amount to my experience. And journey to the depths of the soul. And that project came about because we'd done one called Journey to the Center of the Self. No, Journey to the Depths of the Self. Anyway, Depths of the Self. And that one is more about what happens when the personal identification, the ego stuff just dissolves in those experiences. And, you just, wow, there is only that. And you are it, okay? And you find out what it is incredibly beautiful and wonderful. And it's all okay at that level. And and I think that's a classic experience that all the great traditions have talked about and pointed us toward so that we could experience ourselves, right? That Jesus said, I and the Father are one, They got mad at him, said, you being a man, make yourself to be God. And basically said in his own way, I'm making you to be God too. So, second, we've all got to wake up to that. And so I was talking with Joe after we did the big self thing, which is really beautiful. You got to check that out too. Use that. So let's do one about the soul. And the soul for me, after these years and years of, searching and praying and meditating and struggling with this stuff, it's the deepest part of our individual self. And I think the individual self is real because something's experiencing what we're talking about right now, right? What is that? Oh, there it is. It's experiencing. And the universe or God has evolved us to be these very complex individual beings, that are unique manifestations of everything. So I think it's very important not only to cultivate the big mind experience where the boundaries go away and you are just that. There is only God, and thou art that. Okay, to the point, the deepest part of your soul. The way I kind of saw it is there's like a Venn diagram. There's the big self, and then there's the individual self, and where those two circles meet, you have that little, not a very good football, but anyway, that geometric shape stands for where the all and the individual meet in this very beautiful, very profound place, which is your soul. And that's where I believe we find our inner direction, what we're supposed to be doing. What is your soul task? You're having an experience as an incarnated human being. What are you here to do? And it's an essential question. And we don't find that. In some ways, we won't have a failed life because we never found what we were supposed to be doing, what our soul was indicating for us to do. And how do you listen to your soul? Well, there's lots of ways. There's music, and there's poetry, and there's nature, and there's vision quest, and obviously meditation, prayer, deep perceptive prayer, not just Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz, that type of, not petitionary, don't want to talk about. And petitionary prayer is fine too. I think we get to ask for guidance and help, and if we ask for it, we get it. But discover that deepest part of ourselves, and there's a beautiful piece there. And the more we meditate, we can begin to recognize when it's just our chatterbox mind, yada yada yada, or when we get to that deep place, and it's not quite the experience of everything place, but it's the deep you as an expression, individual expression of spirit, of God. And when we find that, man, really interesting place, and I seem to have indications in my experience that, and I can't put this in a test tube or show you an algorithm to prove it so, but it seems that we do, we're here more than once, okay? So transubstantiation of the soul, or reincarnation, whatever you call that. And I don't know all the physics exactly what that means, but it seems that we're here and we carry stuff with us from earlier times, and we get to work through that stuff. And I think sometimes we not only are working through our own individual stuff, but maybe we're working through stuff our ancestors did. And all that stuff is in your soul. And when you, I just did a conversation with Jamie Wheel. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he co-wrote a book called Stealing Fire and Recapturing the Rapture, his latest book. And I haven't finished it yet because it's one of those books that I have to underline and go back. But he's a remarkable man. He's going through a remarkable phase of giving, speaking from his deepest self to all our deepest selves. And he goes through and he looks at all the issues, from the global warming to the rise of tribalism and, the pollution of the environment, all this stuff. He looks at it, and the corruption of our political system and our democracy seem to be falling sway to totalitarian authoritarianism, fascism, neo-fascism, all this stuff. He looks it square in the face. I'm square in the heart of the beast, and he comes through. Okay. And in the last part of the book, he mentioned this to me in the conversation. I haven't read it yet, but I can't wait to get there. He's talking about the solution, if there is hope for us as a species, is soul power. Okay. And that is finding your path, finding your voice. And your voice is not just talking, could be writing, could be singing, could be touch. It's our unique gifts, but coming from that deepest part of ourselves. There's a profound sense of recognition, of self-recognition, and also the recognition of God, and that you're being played like an instrument when you go through this. It's just extraordinary. Call it flow, call it the Holy Spirit, call it prana, whatever it might be. It is a beautiful experience, and we can through our lives, through our practices, through writing poetry, through playing music. I play the blues, comes through for me that way. We can cultivate that part of us. And in my bedroom, I had this picture of Martin Luther King. And it was one of the pictures I was taking of him the day before he died. He arrived in Memphis at the airport. And anyway, it's a long story how I got this picture, but first time I saw it, I just looked at it and started weeping. You know, it touched me so deeply, and it still makes me weep. He was a man living from the depth of his soul, and he'd gotten Nobel Peace Prize. He could really write. He was a great thinker, and he could have just sat back, you know, and enjoyed the benefits of being world famous philosopher, you know, teacher, spiritual person. But he led from the front, and he knew people were trying to kill him. In his last talk he gave that night at the church in Memphis, he seemed to know he was going to die, going to be killed, but he did it anyway. So, what came through him is continuing to bless the world right now. And any extremities or problems that progressives in the far left are running into now could be healed and brought back into proper alignment with a good dose of Martin Luther King Jr. So we need him more than ever, you know. And there's a man that followed his soul and gave his life and changed the world and continues to change us. Well, I think that's good for now. And yeah, we're having a deep transformation. Is the podcast that we're going to be releasing soon. We already have a number of conversations. We're just waiting to happen about 10 or 12 or something like that before we release it. And I'm doing it with Dr. Roger Walsh. He's my partner, and he's an amazing man. Written many books, has been a pioneer in humanistic psychology, transpersonal, integral psychology. Deep man. And these conversations have been psychedelic. I mean, they have been just really, really powerful. So I'm which is what we wanted to do, what we felt guided to do, and it seems to be happening again. Going back to the power of the individual self and getting beyond, you know, the surfacey stuff. And there's layers of it, but getting down to the core of who we are at our deepest self and speaking from that place. So having said that, I'll stop speaking. So thank you. And anyway, God bless. Appreciate it.